And so one of the things I do when a client comes is I just do a rough walkthrough of those dimensions. It's like, does anybody care if you're alive or dead? So do you have any friends? Do you have anybody that loves you? Do you have an intimate relationship? How are things going with your family? Do you have a job? Are you as educated as you are intelligent? Do you have any room for advancement in the future? Do you do anything interesting outside of your job? And if the answer to all those is no, it's like, you're not depressed, my friend. You just are screwed. Where are you in a dominance hierarchy? Because one of the things your brain is trying to understand is, how should you regard yourself as an active and competent organism when you're facing problems that you can't compute? And the answer to that is, we're not going to solve that. We're going to distribute the problem into the social network, and we're going to let everyone else solve it. And so if you rise up in the dominance hierarchy, your brain reacts as if the dominance hierarchy structure, which is composed of many, many brains, has run its computations and decided that you're pretty damn competent. And so the way your brain responds to that is it cranks up your serotonin production and it decreases your neuroticism. And it's perfectly reasonable computation because A, if everybody says you're competent enough so that you're going to get more rewarded for your competence than other people are. And that's going to make you more secure in your job. It's going to make you more desirable and in demand among other people. And that's going to give you access to resources you wouldn't otherwise have. There's a correlated element to that, which is sort of your level of self-esteem, although that's very much associated with neuroticism. People with high self-esteem generally have low levels of negative emotion. It's not clear that those are separable phenomena. Well, let's say you want to have the first question is, can you have a meaningful life? Right? Because we're going to start from the proposition that unvarnished life is very dismal and dreadful, right? So if you're not prepared for it, it'll just grind you up, and that will be very painful. Okay, so we're going to use that as a baseline. The baseline isn't that you're going to be secure and happy. The baseline is, there isn't much of you, you're very fragile, and things will grind you into nothing. That's a Buddhist stance, right? Because the Buddhists say, first dictum of Buddhism is, life is suffering. The first dictum isn't that life is happy. So the Buddhists basically say, chaos is the normative condition. Okay, so fine. How do you deal with that? It's not how you fight against it or defend against it. I don't think those are appropriate conceptualizations. It's not positive illusions, it's not defense mechanisms, it's none of that, although you may also use that. What it is, do you have an intimate relationship that works? Do you have a family that's networked well together and strong? Do you have some sort of interesting occupation that regularizes your schedule, gives you something productive to do on a long-term basis, is stable and productive, right? Do you have something that you find engaging to do, or maybe more than one thing outside of work, right? And are you compromising your mental and physical health by doing any things that are particularly stupid? And, one of those the top one of those I would say is probably alcoholism. So if there's one thing you really want to avoid that screws up your life, it's drinking too much. It is unbelievably dangerous. So the first thing we might say is, well, let's optimize those. Well, the more you optimize those, the more pillars there are in your plan, and they're only somewhat correlated. So maybe you can lose one, or maybe you can even lose two. It's going to knock you down, but it's not going to sink you.